Hi. Hi again. How is everyone? Are we good? I hope so. I just chugged the rest of my coffee before I started again. So, I'm just picking some colors. I think I might go with some yellow. And we're going to do these here. I really want to do the thing I was going to do yesterday with the yellow flowers, but instead I took it out. And the reason is because I didn't quite like it. And I know that we've done something similar in I believe it was the Isolate and Create Stitchalong from last year. I know I have it over here, but it might be buried. Here. Yeah. This one here. So I kind of want to do the same thing, but I want to do it with yellows. I'm trying to decide if I should do like this color and this color or this color and this color, you know? Maybe I'll just stick to the lighter colors and use this one for later. Okay, so for this one, I was going to do a chain stitch, but I'm going to do something similar to what we did yesterday, which is all 6 strands. We're going to do 2 straight stitches. Just threading my needle. Need the concentration, you know? 2 straight stitches, and then in the middle of the 2 straight stitches, we're going to use this color to do another straight stitch. So I hope, I mean, it looked gorgeous on the other hoop, so hoping I can pull it off. Now I kind of want to use pinks. Like the pink would look really nice too. You know, with like a red center or something. No, stop it. I'm going to do this. All right, so I'm going to do the small one first because this one is behind this one. So that way when we do the big one, we can just stitch right over it and we don't have to worry about like trying to stitch around it. So let's zoom in. If you want to do a chain stitch for these, then of course you can. No one's gonna, you know, give you a slap on the wrist or anything like that. I just think this would look nice. So we're going to try. So here we go. So my dream is like this in my head. We're going to do our 2 straight stitches and they're going to overlap at the top, but at the bottom they're going to be right next to each other. So through the same hole at the top, but at the bottom, the stitches will be next to each other. So I'm hoping that will give like a small skinny triangle look. But then also fill up the bottom part. Not the bottom part, the center part here. The bottom of the triangle. And I am using all 6 strands because these are pretty big flowers. I want to fill them up. If you wanted a more delicate look or if you have a smaller hoop, you could definitely use less if you wanted. But again, you'll probably have to put in some more petals. All right, so this is probably one of the most common knots that you get, and it's when the thread loops and gets caught in itself. And really all you need to do is pull it and it comes out. So yeah, how is everyone today? How are we doing? I told everyone in the last video that I thought today was Friday, and I genuinely did. You guys can be the first to know, but if you remember around Christmas time, if you were around then, I did a little workshop for the Birmingham Etsy market, and it was stitching with one of my friends, Kirsty, and we learned how to make some ornaments, like a small little 3-inch ornament. And we're gonna do a little class the first Friday of the month. So the first one is tomorrow, and it's gonna be about drawing. So we're just gonna have a fun time, a couple drinks. It's at 3 o'clock. So, I mean, take it as you will. And yeah, we're just going to have a nice fun time drawing together. So if you want to come, it's just going to be an Instagram live. It's not a paid for thing or anything like that. It's literally just us having a chat, laughing, and having a good time. So if you want to come to that, it will be tomorrow at 3. And I'll do like a little announcement for it later. I think it's going to be so fun. And then we already have next month's activity planned, little crafting activity. And then it's my turn to figure out what we're going to do for April. Will you IGTV for us Aussies? I'm sure it'll be saved. I mean, it's not like a learning opportunity, do you know what I mean? It's more like it's more just like us being silly and drawing. And a lot of it is going to be like the way I draw a dog or a cat will be different from the way that she draws a dog or a cat. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I just realized I used the same yellows for the other one yesterday, and I wish I would have changed it. So, like, the hoops aren't exactly the same, you know? Hey-ho. Cute. I've got the day off tomorrow, too. Oh, I hope you'll come. I think it's going to be quite fun because, like, I've been dealing with a copyright problem. Someone using my designs, but then saying that they've like come up with them independently of mine, etc., for wood slices. But it's happened with embroidery a lot too. And the other thing is that people are saying that, like, you know, there's only so many ways to draw whatever. So like there's only so many ways to draw a deer, or there's only so many ways to draw a cat. There's only so many ways to draw a bear or a flower or a leaf. And I don't agree with that. I feel like everyone has their own style and their own way, and they're all going to draw it different than everyone else, you know? So part of it is for that. Just to be like, we are all different. We all can draw. Okay. Let's see what I have left over from yesterday of the other color, so I don't use a bunch of colors. See, this is 3 strands. I'm a little bit worried that it's not going to be dark enough. You know, like, is it going to be dark enough? Can we see it? I think I'm going to do this one. So I've used, for the straight stitches, I've used 292, and then I think I'm going to do 306 for the middles, so they like really pop out, you know? Give a little pop. And for this one, we're not going all the way to the top. We're just gonna go half, 3/4, 3/5. Those are all different measurements. I'm well aware. But I'm going to say about that far. Yay, I like the mustard with the blue. Yeah, I think it's going to look really nice. So this one here is going to go just 3/4 of the way. Yeah. And then go right in between those ones like that. And I used 6 strands in the end because I feel like it needs to be like a bold color. Everyone has their style, hand and pen style, and you can tell if someone is copying. Oh my gosh. Yeah. It's been a little bit frustrating, but hopefully it's been settled. But it happens all the time, and like it's such a waste of time to have to go and be like, hi, I see you've copied my embroidery hoop. Can you not do that? Like, or hey, I've seen you've drawn the exact same flowers that I've drawn. And like you can tell, like some flowers are just flowers, you know what I mean? Like these are kind of generic, like daisy type flowers, but some of them, like the woven wagon wheels, like that's the stitch, that's the flower, that's what it is. Like there's no way to like make it yours, if you know what I mean? Because the stitch that's how you make it. Like you can add little other things, like you can change the colors, or sometimes I'll add like a buttonhole stitch in the middle so you can see the fabric. Like there's lots of other things you can do to like make it a little bit more yours, but the stitch is the stitch. But it's so nice to be able to like draw something, like look at an actual flower and draw it and be like, I made that, I drew that, you know? So yeah, I think it'll be fun. And I think it'll be such a good way to be like Kirsty's style and my style are so different. I feel like I need to like do some practicing, you know, like, because if you were to like tell me to draw a dog or something, I don't think I'd be able to draw a good one. I think you'd be like, really? That's what you've got? I really like these. I'm really glad I went with a brighter color because I feel like this one, I think it would look nice, but I don't think you'd be able to see it as well, you know? And this is like, boom. Right, we'll leave the centers blank because we're going to do that on either a details day or a French knot day. So don't fill them in quite yet. I know some people are like, I can't stop stitching. I just want to stitch them all. But try your best to not stitch them all. The other thing that you can do though, if you find yourself like really wanting to stitch more, is to go get another hoop in fabric and use it as just like a practice, like where you can just fill the whole thing up with different flowers that you've learned and different stitches, and just use it to try, because that's always a good thing too. If you want to do a couple more, if you want to practice before you actually get to your, oh, I thought it was an ad. Practice before you want to get to your actual hoop. Okay, now the big one, and then we'll be done. So again, it's exactly the same technique. So if you want to leave, of course you can. You don't have to stay for the whole thing. But yeah. squirrels are coming out, you know? Does that mean it's springtime? When the squirrels come out. What was that? Oh. Somebody yesterday, haunted, somebody yesterday asked if my needle was hitting something because the sound is really loud. And no, it's just that's the sound the needle makes when it goes through. Especially if you have a nice tight fabric, you should get this sound. But I do pull quite hard. Like I'm not trying to be delicate with it. Like I'm really pulling. But you shouldn't have any kind of like rolls or gaps or anything like that. Or like, what's it called? Like slack in your fabric. It should be completely tight. It should be completely filled over. Do you know what I mean? Like really tight like a drum. And then for these ones here, we're just going to stitch right over this. So mine got a little bit sloppy, but I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4 here in a row. So we're just going to go right over these ones. And you can stitch up through the flower, or you can go around the flower. That's entirely up to you how you want it to look. But we're still keeping that same, you know, next to each other in the center and on top of each other at the top. So as long as you're keeping that little, like, pattern, I guess, then all is good. They've been, like, redoing a house 2 or 3 doors down, so it might be something to do with that, but they, like, took the fence down and everything. They had, like, a wire fence around it, but they took it down, like, ages ago, so I kind of figured that they were finished, but maybe not. And bin day's tomorrow, so it's definitely not the bins. If any of you are in the States, bin day is where they come take your trash, so it's just trash day. And you put your bins out by the road, and they come and take your recycling and your trash. So you'll notice that the more I use this thread, the more it kind of comes untwisted. So if you look at the very first ones, they're almost like really, you can definitely see like 1-2 stitch. And then these ones down here, they look more like the thread has been like taken apart and put back together, like all flat. Some people like to do that when they stitch because they like this look. They don't like how it's twisted together. But either way is fine. It just, like I always say, it just depends on what you like and what you prefer. Today I learned that Big Bird is different colors in other countries. What? Surely he's yellow, right? What color is he in other countries? Isn't he yellow? I'm over here like second guessing myself now, thinking that maybe he's a different color. Surely he's yellow. I'm out. Just 5 more to go. And then we'll do the dark color and then we'll be finished. Nope, the Dutch have a blue one. Turkey is red. Mexico has green and orange. What? I have to look this up. That's amazing though. Would he be as effective, like as a different color? He's not yellow everywhere. Did you guys see, I shared in my stories yesterday about like when you flip a grilled cheese over, you could like flip the pan and like instead. And a couple people were like, why would you do that? And I was like, no one said you had to do it. I just was like, how did you figure this out? like why, how would you think? You know what? Instead of flipping the spatula, I'm going to flip the entire pan over and see if that works. That's so interesting though. Big bird. I have to sneeze. I'm sorry. Oh. That's like, I think I'm developing allergies. I think that's like 3 days this week I've sneezed in the Stitchalong. And your Stitchalong. But I sneezed in my shirt, so it didn't get on my hands, so you don't see sneeze stuff, you know? Okay, last one, and then we'll do the darker color yellow. And then we'll be finished. Oh, I always think they look so nice when they're like that. Oh. These are so pretty. I think I need to get some flowers from the store. I didn't end up going to Lidl yesterday. I don't know if I told you guys in this one or the tea one that I was going to go to Lidl, but I didn't end up going. I'm going to go today instead because on Thursdays they have new stuff out and we need a couple extra things. Like we ran out of stuff yesterday, so I was like, well, I'll just go tomorrow anyways, so I don't have to go 2 times. These are just such happy flowers, aren't they? Maybe I'll get a bouquet of flowers today when I go. It's making me want to like have some nice flowers on the table, you know? Hi, Tash. Oh my gosh, yesterday, I already told you guys in my stories earlier, like this morning, but we did some some gouache painting yesterday, and it was so fun. I'm obsessed. Like I'm already planning a big project to do with it. I'm so excited. like I always did watercolor painting before and then like acrylic painting before that. I painted a lot of things like the Eiffel Tower and our lake, like really big. Our lake painting is like huge. It's above the fireplace. I'll show you guys a picture in my stories later. I have to find one. But I've used a lot of different kinds of paint, but we never really did gouache paint. So because gouache is the best. Yes. I really want to use it more now. It's like it can be watercolor and it can be acrylic. It can be like thick or thin. So it's like the properties of both. I'm obsessed. I don't like that these are there we go. Yeah, so maybe I'll go later and get a cherry tart or maybe one of those toffee things, maple pecan toffee rolls or whatever they're called. And then get some flowers and come back home and do some more painting. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You guys, I'm gonna win again. Perfect. Oh, they're so beautiful. Okay. I just had to wipe my nose on my shirt because my biggest fear is like having a runny nose and then it dripping like onto my project and you guys being like, ew. So yeah, that's what happened. Okay. So there we go. We're finished for today. So just a reminder, we do have a lesson tomorrow for Friday because today's Thursday. It's not Friday. So we do have a lesson tomorrow on Friday. And there's also a lesson on Saturday. The only lesson that we don't have during the week is Sunday, and that's just a catch-up day. So anything that you didn't finish from this week, you have all day on Sunday to catch up. And there will be a video, so I will go live and do some stitching, but it's not going to be anything new. So I just wanted to remind you because I know a couple people were like, wow, we have so many days left. And I was like, well, not really, because on Sundays, they're just catch-up days. So we only have until Saturday. But yeah, that's what we have so far. So I think on Sunday, I'll catch up with these flowers here. And that'll be so fun. So this is what we've got so far. I love them. They're so pretty. And yeah, I hope you had a good time. I can't wait to see what colors you chose. Be sure to tag me at the Barmy Fox and use the hashtag in your stories and in the grid. The grid is like an actual Facebook post, not Facebook, Instagram post, you know, the square ones that go on your profile and stay there. If you use the hashtag in those, it will collate all of them in one feed. So you can go and have a look at everyone else's. So thank you for those of you who did. Stitch in Time Save Sanity says, I did. That's perfect. So in the evenings, normally, once I'm watching TV or before I go to bed, I'll go through and at least try and like all of them just to make sure you get a little bit of encouragement. And then, you know, give it a like, give them some comments. People love it so much. I'm not going to lie. It means a lot. So I hope you have a great Thursday. It's Thursday for the 15th time. And I'll see you tomorrow for our Friday live. So enjoy. Bye.